Hello, you've got Chris and Eli. That's Chris. I'm Eli with Landlord Gurus. And today we're going to give you an overview and our review of TurboTenant property management software. We will give you some of their features and highlights. There are a lot of property management software products out there to choose from, and we'll try to help you decide, make a good decision about whether TurboTenant is the one that might fit your needs best. So and we'll discuss some alternatives and give you kind of our personalized takeaway. So first question is, what is TurboTenant and what does it do for you? So we'll let Chris lead in with that.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Eli. So TurboTenant is what we have been calling full featured property management software. It does a lot of things. So we can just go through them one by one. So first is advertising and listings. With TurboTenant, you can create a listing with the description and photos and stuff. You've done this, Eli. You can tell us about them.
So there are a couple of things that stand out for me. One is that there's actually a spot where you can add a link to a video. That'd be on YouTube or somewhere else. They don't actually host it there, but that's a nice feature. And then notable sites that they will syndicate to, which means that your listing on TurboTenant will then populate automatically onto sites. There are over a dozen of them, but the standouts for me are Redfin, Apartments.com, Zumper, and apartmentlist.com. So that's where a lot of the leads I get come from.
Okay, great. It also does a pre-screener where it sends a list of questions to your leads.
Yeah, that automatically goes out to anybody who comes to you through the platform who's inquired, which is really nice up front because it helps people know what some of the criteria are, and it helps you narrow down right off the bat. So they address income, pets, number of residents, and smoking, and move-in date. So those are the standard questions I always ask. So it's really nice that it's automatic.
Yeah, we're strong advocates for pre-screening. We've talked about that a lot. So it's great that it does that. Okay, so then once an applicant or potential applicant's ready to move forward and they want to apply through TurboTenant, you can request an application from them. Is that right?
Yeah, you just need the applicant's name. Of course, if they've come to the site from TurboTenant site or one of the other syndicated sites, you've already got that information. So then you can invite them to apply. They fill out the application, which you can customize both on the free and the premium plan. And then it walks it right into where they or the landlord can pay for the screening reports, and it comes directly to the landlord.
Right. Yeah. And that was the next thing. They apply, they can authorize a tenant screening. What does that entail? I believe it's a TransUnion credit report.
Yeah, it all comes through TransUnion. So it's a full credit report, a criminal background check if it's allowed in your area, eviction report, and what they call identity verification, which mostly has to do with past residence locations and that type of thing. And then they actually ask the applicant to upload a copy of the ID, which is nice.
Okay. Yeah. And then once they complete that and they pay for it, if you choose to have them pay for it, then the results are ready for you pretty much instantaneously.
Yeah.
And then, okay. From there, it can move on to lease agreements. And will it take the information that they have put in through their application and the screening and put that directly in the lease agreement?
Yep, it populates right into a lease agreement. You can take those leads, you can accept one, you can archive the others, and then once you've accepted somebody, you walk into their lease generation genie or whatever you want to call it, which is specific to your state. So they have leases that have been tailored to the laws of each of the 50 states.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And again, that's great to have. We talk about that a lot as well, the 50 state lease agreements. So it's imperative that you have one that complies with your local rules and regulations. And then they can also electronic sign, you and them can electronic sign, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
And from there, then you can set them up for online rent collection, I assume, right?
Right. Everybody's favorite feature. You've got your bank account or bank accounts, which I do separate bank accounts for different properties. You can have those all set up and designate for this applicant which property it is and which bank account rent should go to. The new resident puts their bank information, just the routing number and account number in, and then from there they can automate payments. You can set automatic late payments, and there are reminders to the tenants and reminders to you if somebody's late and that type of thing. So,
Awesome. Okay. And then they also have a accounting feature, rental property accounting feature that they use or that they offer through their partnership with REI Hub.
Yeah, REI Hub is a separate company, but TurboTenant offers that feature, and then they integrate it so that the rent roll, the records, and any expenses that you record through the platform can be integrated into REI Hub, which is the really full-featured accounting software that's tailored to landlords. So you really don't need QuickBooks, and you've got everything right there without having to do a bunch of separate data entry. And you can do all your reports at tax time, analyze how your investment is doing, and have a good business software going for you.
Great. They also do maintenance management and tracking, where they have in-app messaging. Tenants can upload photos of a problem and stuff like that, and you can communicate with them through that. Is that correct?
Yeah. And the messaging platform, like a lot of other products, can be used for multiple. It's just kind of a messaging app.
Right.
And actually, that's something that stands out with TurboTenant is they do have an app. A lot of the others are all browser based. So that's nice. I still like to use it on the browser, frankly. But yes, people can request maintenance and send you photos about what's going on. So,
Great.
yeah.
Okay. TurboTenant also offers a rental price analysis, which I think you've done a video on this and used TurboTenant to help with that as well, right?
Yep. They will survey local vacancies and give you an idea about where you sit in the pricing range for comparables, basically. So it's not a super detailed analysis about county trends and all kinds of stuff, but it gives you a great visual on where you sit, what people are going to be seeing in terms of price range, which is really what's important.
Great starting point for you, for sure.
Yep.
Okay, great. So we've got a more detailed overview on our website that talks about all this stuff, so you can go check it out. We'll put the link below. Next, I guess we'll go into some of the highlights, right, that stand out. One thing for me is that pre-screening function. Like we talk about that all the time, and we think it's very important just to get the ball rolling, and you can find out quickly who's ready for you and who's not going to be a good fit right off the bat. So you can customize that application, that pre-screening, and ask them questions on pets and smoking and income, move-in date, all those really important questions. Just takes that first step. It's done.
It's automatic.
Yeah,
it's automatic. So it saves everybody a lot of time.
Cool.
And we touched also previously on the state-specific leases. That's really a standout, because it's so important to have a lease that's made for your local laws. Please note that they don't get as granular as city or county specific rules, which in some places, Seattle, included, which is where we are, you really have to pay attention to that as well. So make sure on top of that with either a local association or consult a lawyer.
Right.
But the nice thing is that you can, get required forms for your specific location, and you can actually upload those along with the TurboTenant lease. And you can set up e-signing for all of the above, so that you don't have a separate document that you're signing paper or DocuSign, and then it's all signed in one place electronically all at one time, and then it's stored together, which it's pretty handy.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, and I like that rent analysis tool that you're talking about. From what you showed before, it looks great, and again that it's free, so it's it's an easy way to just kind of start right off the bat and get going with that.
Yep. No, it's one of the only free versions. Usually it costs about $20.
Right.
Yeah. And I've really found that their customer service and also just the support articles and videos, there's a lot of tutorial on how to use the software. So there are always questions. So I found it handy that I can find the answers to my questions pretty easily.
Yeah, and I like the accounting features, particularly with the REI Hub subscription. And again, it is an additional cost depending on how many units you have, anywhere from $15 to $80 a month. But I did see that TurboTenant is offering 75% discount on the first 2 months. So it's worth checking out. And I think they're really good features. Again, we can get rid of that QuickBooks subscription as well.
Yeah, we did identify some areas that we thought there was room for improvement. One thing that's a bit of a pet peeve for me, but I think other people might care about it too, is that my phone number appears on some sites, and I haven't found a way to disable that. Apartments.com in particular seems to be one where I get phone calls or texts, and I prefer to get emails or in platform. So that's one where I'd rather that was, I could disable that, but unfortunately you can't.
Right. Yeah, I think the screening is also a little bit expensive. I see they charge $55 with the free plan or $45 for the premium plan, which is a little bit more than some of the other tenant screening services that we use. And again,
Yeah.
that doesn't really necessarily affect the landlord, but it may be a detriment to the tenant and might, reduce the number of applicants you actually get.
Yeah, it's slightly above the average price. Average is probably 40 in there, so it's a little above. But one feature, and this has to do with Avail, which we've also reviewed. One of the features they have that I like is the automatic rental reference checking, where when an applicant puts the past landlord contact information in and submits their application, an email goes automatically to the past landlords and asking them the standard questions. And it's a step I don't like to have to do offline if I, separately if I don't have to. So it's a minor thing, but they don't do that.
Yeah. And then, again, going back to the REI Hub integration, like we said, it's a bit expensive, but, it is cheaper than a separate QuickBooks subscription. So,
yeah. And easier.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So, yeah, and I think we can go through pricing while we're talking about pricing. So how much does TurboTenant cost?
Well, as the name of the plan would suggest, there's a free plan and it costs $0. So, and you get a lot with that. You can put in an unlimited number of units. Your advertising syndicates to all of the more than a dozen, they say, sites. You can customize application questions, even with the free plan. The screening reports are the same. You get the criminal eviction and credit reporting. The state-specific leases are $59 each. And the online rent payment, there's a $2 fee for ACH, which is a bank-to-bank transfer. And so the tenant pays that, $2 each transaction. You get the maintenance tracking and some basic property accounting all for that free package.
Gotcha. And with the premium plan, that costs $8.25 per month or $99 a year. You get the same features as you get with the free plan, unlimited units and everything else. You do get expedited rent payments, so they come a little faster. The ACH fees on rent payments are waived, so the tenant doesn't have to pay anything. You can connect unlimited bank accounts, which may be important to some people. You get verified applicant income, which is a separate feature that they will do for you, just to make sure that what the applicant's putting on their application is correct. You get unlimited state-specific leases and addenda, electronic signing, including uploads like what you talked about before, and you get a free comprehensive landlord forms pack, which is 32 documents that you might need for various purposes. Normally that's $199, but you get it for free.
Yeah, that's a lot too. They have a lot of most of the notices or all of the notices you would need, and a lot of the addenda that you might possibly need. Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and there are some alternatives, all of which we have written about and evaluated as well. It's a good time to mention that TurboTenant, as well as these other products that we'll mention, are affiliate partners of ours, where if you decide TurboTenant or the others are the best product for you and you go there from our site, we make a little bit of a commission on that. So just know that. The alternatives, some of the prime alternatives are Rent Ready. And a strength there is that they have a system that will triage your maintenance issues. So the call goes to their call center and they will dispatch a professional and kind of take that midnight call out of the mix for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, which
is no more
nice.
late night emergencies. Yeah. Avail is another great option. We did a video review of them recently as well. Another full featured property management product.
Yeah, another favorite.
Yeah, and then if all you want to do is collect rent, pay rent, again, is a great rental collection app for you.
Yeah, yeah, they've got kind of every feature you could want, and if getting rent online electronically is your real priority. So, all right, Chris, I think you had some takeaways. So you want to let us know what kind of pops out for you on this service?
Yeah, and I think right now I'll also mention that if you like this content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you get other videos. But yeah, I'll make my takeaways pretty quick. So in the interest of time, I think the free plan is great for landlords who don't require a lot of extra features. It's got advertising, listing, applications, and everything else that you need, and a really good, robust online rent collection features. I like the leases and documents function, but I think if you're, especially if you're able to get your leases somewhere else, like one of these rental housing associations that you might subscribe to, you might not need that. But if you do, and you have more than a handful of units, the premium plan probably worth it. Comes with all those features that we talked about. And I like the income insights feature that comes with the premium plan. It verifies the accuracy of the renter's self-reported income. And it tells me that, yeah, what they're saying is true. And it gives me that peace of mind that everything is all above board and as they say.
Right. Yep. And I have some kind of favorite features and takeaways for you as well. I've taken a number of my units, started managing them on TurboTenant in the last couple of months, and I've enjoyed just the interface, which I find intuitive and easy to use. They do, like Chris said, syndicate your listings to a pretty broad array of other sites. So you get lots of eyeballs on your listings and a lot of potential applicants. That pre-screening questionnaire where the basics are all out there on pets and smoking and income and move-in date and all that. And then the state-specific leases and the e-signature is, I think, a standout feature. And I've enjoyed using that. So those are my takeaways. And that's the extent of our discussion on TurboTenant for today, and we'd be happy to answer any questions. Please, like Chris said, follow, share,